إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفر ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله الحمد لله رب العالمين. We are here in Ajrumiyah. In Ajrummiyah, we're finished all the fundamental things of Ajrummiyah. And inshallah, it's going to go pretty quick now, so you got to pay attention. And remember, we just said that all your knowledge has to be built on firm foundations. So we already dealt with what is a word, what are the three types of words, right? We talked about al-i'rab, dealing with the ends of the words. Then we started and we dealt with all the different types of i'rab, from raf'un wa nasbun thumma khaftun jazmun. Now we're done with the signs and how to recognize them when you make them in the i'rab. Now we're going to deal with af'al. That was asma. Now we're going to deal with af'al. Ismuns. Now we have fi'lun. And it says babul af'al. The bab dealing with the types of verbs. What is a verb? Action word. Okay? فعل هي كلمة دلت على معنى في نفسها وقد اقترنت بإحدى ثلاثة الأزمنة. Remember the definition we initially gave. Okay, we memorized that. We got firm on that. It is a word that points to a meaning independent. It has its own meaning. It doesn't need extra words to understand what standing is, what running is, what kicking and boxing and talking and looking. Those are words that have their own independent meaning. And they are attached to one of the three time frames. Either it's tied to now going into the future, like looking, he's looking, right? Then you have one that is dealing with immediately after an order. After you've been told to do something, which is mustaqbal, which is look. Right, that's an order. We call it an order. But it's the right after the futuristic, right after you say do something. And then we have the past tense. He saw, right? Or he looked in the past. So we go here and we teach and we learn the same exact thing through the qawaid, through the rules. And the poem lets us firm it and formulate it strong in our head. And he says, وَهِيَ ثَلَاثَةٌ مُضِيٌّ قَدْ خَلَى وَفِعْلُ أَمْرٍ وَالْمُضَارِعُ تَلَى فالماضي مفتوح الآخر أبدا والأمر بالجزل لدى بعد ارتدى ثم المضارع الذي في صدره إحدى الزوائد عنيت فدره وحكمه الرفع إذا يجرد من ناصب أو جازم كتسعد أو تسعد. Okay? Either way is allowed. So it says وهي ثلاثة. This is the first one. What is it talking about? Af'al. Al-af'al hiya thalathatun. There are three types of verbs. That's for the first one. Mudiyun qad khala. The second thing is saying the madi qad khala, meaning it's happened already. It's past. Khali is past already. You understand? It's left already. You guys understand that? وَالْفِعْلُ أَمْرٍ وَالْمُضَارِعٍ تَلَى. This is the second one. 1, 2, 3. And tala means these two follow the madi. Basically. He mentioned mudiyun. It's already. Wa alaykum as-salam. How's all the vegetables? Alhamdulillah. So, the madi already passed. The fi'lul amri, the action word that's ordering you to do something. And the mudari'un. And the mudari'un means what? What does mudari mean? No. What does mudari mean? It's like or similar to. What is it similar to? The ismun. That's because why is it like the ismun? Because the ends change. These two, the madi and the fi'l amri, their ends do not change. They have set ways. They're mabniyun. Okay? So, it says now, and then the mudari' is like the ismun, in that the ends change. Why is it mudari? Mudari, and I keep saying this over and over again so you can get through the sentence. Like ismun, why? Ends change. Okay? Very important to recognize that, because it's going to come into play. So it says, tala it just ends the line, but it means these two come next. Come next. But just in the line of the poetry, not in real life. It doesn't make a difference which one comes first. فَالْمَاضِي مَفْتُوحُ الْآخِرِ أَبَدًا. That's the rule. You'll hear me say it over and over again. When you make a mistake, when you do something, I'm going to say فَالْمَاضِي, you're going to say مَاضِي مَفْتُوحُ الْآخِرِ أَبَدًا. Abada means forever and ever, always and forever. The Madi is maftuhul akhiri, meaning it's going to have a fatha on the end of it always. Dhahaba, raja'a, jalasa, nadara, daraba, qatala, sajada, aslama. The last is always a. A is what? Fatha, right? Fatha is maftuh. Al-akhir is the last sound. You guys get that? So, al-madi is like this. Fa'ala. Fa'ala. The last one is what? This is the last of it, right? The lam of, pay attention up here, Dawood. The last of it is this last one here. So when he says maftuhun abadan, it means the last is always going to be what? A fatha. You understand that? Always going to be fatha, no matter what the verb is. That's the first rule. Second rule, وَالْأَمْرُ بِالْجَزْمِ لَدَى بَعْضِ ارْتَدَى. And it says in the fi'lul amri, the second one, is going to have jazm. Jazm is what? A sukoon or what? Hadfun noon, right? What? Hadfun noon. Okay? So, here it says, لَدَى بَعْضِ ارْتَدَى. It means, this is the statement according to some weak people. Okay? But my sheikh, he said, ittasaf. This is the way it's been described by some people. Okay? And then Sheikh al-Suq, he says, this is the statement of a weak statement. Why? Because jazm, some people think that jazm just means sukoon. But no, jazm means it's going to be sukoon at the end, right? Or it's going to be harb. If it's a weak letter at the end, what's going to happen? Hadh is going to be chopped off. You guys remember that? You should remember that from sah. For jazmi, alamat al-jazmi, what are they? Sukoon, inna sukoon al-yada wal-adhani wal-hadf lil-jazmi alamatani. That's why I said we have to build these lessons on what? Firm foundation. So the sukoon and the hadf, they come as two ways to check out to be the way, the ends of the amr. If it's a weak letter, hadf, it means it goes away. If it's a strong letter, then it's for sukoon. You guys with me? Now, ثُمَّ الْمُضَارِعُ الَّذِي فِي صَدْرِهِ. Why did he say thumma? Why did he say thumma? He said thumma, as we always tell you, thumma means tarahi. It means there's some difference here. What's the difference? Meaning that these two have a stated way they're always going to be. Right? Either it's going to be maftuh al-akhiri for the madi, or it's going to be sukoon or hadful noon. Hadful akhir. Right? The end is going to be cut off. Right? If it's one of the weak letters, what are the weak letters? If it's one of these letters, then it's hadful. Right? But then it says thumma, then the mudari. Why? Because the mudari is different. Why is the mudari different? Because it is like the ismun, in that the ends change. And the fi'lun from this other direction does not change its endings. It has a stated way. So, الَّذِي فِي صَدْرِهِ, the mudari is the one that I was describing the mudari. Fi sadrihi, in the sadr is the beginning of it. So, let's see the mudari. This is a mudari, right? Fi sadrihi would be here, at the beginning of the word. Okay? Fi sadrihi, ihda zawaid. One of, ihda means one of, zawaid is these extra letters. Extra letters. That's what's implied here. Anaita. Anaita. So, in the front of this af'ala, it would be anaita. Af'alu. Or naf'alu. Yaf'alu. Or taf'alu. You understand? So, when any one of these letters come, fadrihi. So, then know that. Know that. So when you see a word that has one of these letters in it, know that these are the letters of anaita. And that means that this rest of the word is the root, and that is actually, just to let you know, that's mudari. They have meanings, we'll tell you later. But I like to use this construction. Nati. Everybody say nati. Nati. Why? Because these letters, each one of them, mean they're coming. Ata means to come. Nati, we're coming. Ati, I'm coming. Yati, he's coming. Tati, you're coming. So each one of them also are letters of anata or nati. You guys got that? Now, وَحُكْمُهُ. Now he gives you the hukmuhu. وَحُكْمُهُ رَفْعُ. What's the hukmuhu? We also learned that before. We learned that everything is dhamma. What did I say all the time? Everything is dhamma unless we know something else. Unless something happened, it has to be dhamma. It has to be raf'un. In a state of raf'un. Because raf'un is the asl. Right? We said the kings, the chiefs. Raf'un wa nasbun. But here, it's not talking about all of these. It's talking about the hukmuhu what? Hukmur mudari. The hukmul of the mudari. Why? Because maftuh al-akhir is always going to be fatha. And the jazm is going to be sukoon or hadfu. So raf'un is only, what's the sign of raf'un? Fil ismul mufrad. It's going to be dhamma. Okay? So, hukmuhu raf'u idha yujarradu. If it's naked. What do you mean if it's naked? Min nasibin. It's not dressed up with a nasib. A nasib is something that makes it nasbi. Or jazm. Or something that makes it jazmi. Katus'adi or tus'adu, like that. Like this word, this example of the word is tas'adu. Tas'adu. And we know tas'adu huna because the ta is from the letters of anata, right? Right? The ta is from the letter of anata, so the rest of the word is sa'ada. Okay? Or sa'id. To be happy. Or to rise up. Okay? So, we need to know what the nasib and the jazm are. What are the things that if placed in front of a word, a fi'l mudari, it makes that word majzoom, or it makes that word mansoob, meaning in a state of nasbi or in a state of jazmi. That's what we have to learn, and in fact, that's the next chapter now. Because we already know the things that make it makhfood or khafdi, because we learned that in our poem. The first chapter was what? من وحروف خفض وهي من إلى وعن وفي ورب والباء وعلى والكاف واللام واو وتاء ومذ ومنذ ولعل حتى. So when those letters من وإلى وعن وفي ورب والباء وعلى come before word, they make that word khafdi. And the signs of khafdi are what? Kasra, ya, and hadfu noon, right? I mean fatha, kaif, kasra, ya, wal fatha. So we know that. Now, what are the signs of nasbi? وَنَصْبُهُ إِذَا أَرَدَّ نَصْبَ بِالْفَتْحَ وَالْأَلِفُ وَكَسْرُ وَيَا وَحَذْفُ النُّونِ فَالَّذِي فَتْحُ بِهِ عَلَامَاتُ يَا نُحَالِ نَصْبِ. You have to memorize this stuff. It has to be known, and not just known, it has to be known so that you can utilize it. You understand what I'm saying? Because now it becomes beneficial because you have to use it in these cases. So, I suggest, if you don't want to get drowned in the muck and mire of Ajrumiyah, you memorize those first couple of lessons. Because they are the necessary lessons to understand the rest of it. So, wait, what are we talking about when we say Bab al-Af'al? We say, وَهِيَ ثَلَاثَةٌ. What's ثَلَاثَةٌ? Al-Af'al. مُضِيٌّ قَدْ خَلَى وَفِعْلُ أَمْرٍ وَالْمُضَارِعُ تَلَى فَالْمَاضِ مَفْتُوحُ الْآخِرِ أَبَدًا والأمر بالجزم لدى البرد ارتدى ثم المضارع الذي في صدره إحدى الزوائد الأنيت فدره وحكمه الرفع إذا يجرد من ناصب أو جازم كتسعد أو كتسعد. Okay? Very simple, 4 lines, real easy. Do I have any questions about this? Like I said, you'll get lost if you do not memorize the first 3 lessons. That's why I spent so much time going over those first 3 lessons. Review them. Know them. When I say know them, you should be able to quote them. And you quote them so fast that when you hear it, even if you didn't think you understood, because you memorized it, then it becomes understanding when you hear its explanation. Okay? أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Get that, Ayub.